Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Genevieve and I am a spiritual medium and an artist. On this channel, I share my insights and spiritual downloads and any other spiritual content which is interesting for me and hopefully for you. Today, I wanted to make a short video about skepticism towards spiritual mediums such as myself. Because I encounter this all the time, and not only with clients, but also with friends and family and people in general. I have always been a very spiritual person, and I've always been very open to spirituality. I've always grown up having a lot of experiences which were very out of the ordinary and definitely not what people around me were experiencing. So for me, I've always had an open mind, and I've always known that there was a lot of value in the services that spiritual practitioners provide. But the first thing I want to say about people who are skeptical is that it is very healthy and very normal to be skeptical. Being skeptical means that you are a critical thinker. It means that you're not going to just believe anything that anybody tells you about anything. And these are all excellent traits for people who have a strong mind and are very healthy about their boundaries. Because I had a lot of personal experiences which went deeply into spirituality, metaphysical types of experiences like seeing angels, feeling angels' wings brush against me, and seeing dead people, seeing spirits, seeing auras around people, being able to actually read into people's minds and their feelings and communicate with animals and nature. So I've had a lot of personal experiences which validate my faith in spirituality, let's say. But for people who haven't had those experiences, it just makes sense that you're not going to, off the bat, believe that anything is possible when you haven't had that experience for yourself. So I want to acknowledge that there's nothing wrong with somebody being skeptical, and it's a natural and a normal phase to go through. What I have experienced with a lot of people that I've known in my life is that they were skeptical for a while, and then they did actually start to have their own experiences. They had maybe the death of a loved one, which woke them up to thinking about what's next, what's outside of life. Or maybe they actually had some type of spiritual and metaphysical phenomena happen to them. Most people, especially now, do have these types of stories. And what I'm finding in my day-to-day life is that the consciousness on the planet is shifting tremendously. People are opening their minds and hearts up to realities beyond what is on the surface of the physical life that they can experience with their five senses. Most people are opening up to experiencing what is beyond, and that is no longer beyond and out there. It's actually part of their personal experience in their real life. You're certainly not alone if you are skeptical about spirituality. I also want to point out that even as a spiritual person myself, my experience of mediums and psychics, whether it's somebody that you go to for a tarot reading or it's somebody that you go to speak to a loved one or to get more information about something that is beyond day-to-day normal life, spiritual questions, maybe questions about the afterlife, reincarnation, star family, these types of questions. The person that you go to may or may not be the best suited for you and your level and where you are, but it's more complicated than that because in my experience, I have found that every spiritual reader I have gone to, and maybe they are a tarot reader, maybe they are really a medium, maybe they're a psychic, maybe they are someone who can read your aura and your energy and give you a kind of like a body scan energetically, more in the healing modalities. It doesn't really matter what exactly they do. The experience that I have as a customer has a great deal to do with my personal resonance with that person or not. And sometimes there's just not a click, or you don't feel comfortable with the person. Maybe they say things that just don't resonate with you at all, and you walk away feeling like, I didn't really get anything out of that. But another person goes to that same practitioner and has an amazing, insightful, healing, helpful experience, and they really receive a great service. So what's going on there? Is the practitioner bad? Are they bad at what they do? Are they wrong in their approach? Do they lack the talent? Do they lack the skill? Are they faking it? Or is there somehow a mismatch between the client and the practitioner? I have experienced this mismatch myself, both as a client and as a practitioner. So sometimes I have clients and the information just floods in, and I really like this person. I have a good rapport with this person. We fit, we click energetically. There's a great flow of energy between us, and they end up receiving a lot of value out of that session. And then I also have had clients where there feels like there is a bit of a block on the energy flow. And I will say things to them, and I can tell that it's not being well received, or maybe I'm using the wrong words. Maybe it's my delivery. Maybe it's the timing of the message. Maybe it's really hard for them to hear and they're very resistant. So you have all of these types of dynamics going on, which affect how successful a session is between a client and a practitioner. And as I said, I've also been many times a client where I have a reading with somebody and I feel like they're just not really cutting through. I don't feel like they're understanding me, and they're not really giving me any tangible information that really helps me. So your fit with the person energetically has a lot to do with what you get out of it. Your expectations have a huge amount to do with what you get out of it. And I've really learned to stay open and to just go into receiving mode, be the patient, don't in advance decide in a too detailed way what you want to get out of it, how you think it should go. Be open to somebody bringing something new to you and something outside of what you expected, because very often the value in a spiritual reading is that the spirit world can see outside of your vision. They can see a much bigger picture. They can see a far more extensive scales of vibration and energy and information, and they can see into your blind spots. So they might say something to you which is jarring or it's not expected, and maybe it's quite confronting, try not to react too much to that. Just be in receiving mode, be in a kind of a patient mode, receive and take it away and sit with it and be open to receiving value out of it. Because sometimes it's very uncomfortable to see things that we don't want to see and that the spirit world can see, especially if we have triggers and blocks that we have been guarding protectively to make sure that we don't get hurt and we don't want to approach certain subjects, and we've told ourselves a story that basically protects our ego and prevents us from seeing the truth because we feel that the truth is going to be too hurtful. My motto is the truth sets you free. The truth always sets you free. So there's never anything to fear about hearing a truth. Truth will allow you to see what is real. It will allow you to see yourself clearly. It will allow you to see others clearly. The truth helps you get over your own blocks, your own defense mechanisms, your own sabotage systems, your own blockages, which have been set up by your ego to protect you. And they've been doing a great job. But at a certain point in life, it's time to get along without them because it's healthier to be real, to be true, and to see all of you with unconditional love. So many people might be confronted by a practitioner who will give them information which doesn't really sit that well with them. But my advice is stay open, see many types of spiritual practitioners, whether they are mediums, psychics, tarot readers, etc. Stay open, look at different points of view. I always see multiple readers for myself, for my personal life. I am always paying attention when people, readers who don't know each other, say the same thing. That's always interesting. And every single practitioner that you go to brings their own unique approach. They bring their own unique skills. They bring their own unique data set, their own unique life experience, their strengths. And so definitely take a chance on having a reading with somebody new. Don't just go back to the same people over and over, or if you do, make sure that you're also seeing other readers too, to make sure that you get a well-rounded perspective, because there is a danger in seeing and relying on one person, and this actually can apply outside of just spiritual practitioners. You can also see this in terms of counselors or doctors or anybody in a certain field. Don't just get sidelined by wanting to see only one person and only trusting one person and their perspective on something, because what you really want is a broad perspective. You want to see many, many points of view, and you want to pick up the things that work for you, that help you, and leave the things that don't. And sometimes spirit uses a certain practitioner to talk to a certain person in a way that that person isn't expecting, because they are laying a seed of understanding. So you may not get it in the moment, and this is quite a common experience. People have a reading and the person says a whole lot of stuff to them, and they walk away kind of puzzling about some of it that didn't really quite land with them. They don't really get it. And then a month later, bam, oh, that's what they meant. Now this all makes sense to me. So don't be too quick to judge either. Maybe something just needed to sit in your subconscious for a while until you were ready to really hear it. One time somebody asked me, when is the best time to tell somebody something important? And my answer was, when they can hear it. I know for myself, people told me things 10 years ago, and I wasn't in a place where I could fully understand what they were saying, so I sort of brushed them off. I thought, man, that doesn't really sound right. 10 years later, with a whole new decade of life experience and new self-understanding, I think back to what that person said and I realize, oh, they were right. They were very right. I just wasn't ready to hear what they had to say at that time. So stay open, see many practitioners, see different perspectives. Don't judge too quickly. Be graceful, be in receiving mode. And if you feel that you are being scammed, if you really feel that you don't trust the person that you're talking to, my advice is end the session as quickly as possible and ask for your money back. And any reputable therapist, spiritual healer, or spiritual medium or psychic who is worth their salt will give you your money back, because anyone with integrity does not want their clients to have a bad customer experience. I would certainly do that if somebody had a reading with me and within 5-10 minutes they're saying, look, this is just not right for me. Regardless of whether it was right or wrong, regardless of whether I did a good job or not, the point is there was not a good fit. Energetically, it didn't really work. And so I would have no problem giving that person their money back. Good luck to them. I hope you find the right person who can give you what you need in the way that you can receive it. So, in short, skepticism is very healthy, but curiosity is very powerful. I invite you to be curious, to seek new perspectives, to be open, and to have faith that the Spirit, the Source, God, Creator, which is us, from which we came, which is all around us, only has your best interests at heart. And if you align in faith with the Source, God, Creator within you, then, and you stay open without expectation and judgment to what can occur, then good things will come to you. And a spiritual reading with a psychic, a medium, etc., can really, really help you. It can really change your life and give you a lot of inspiration and emotional, mental, and spiritual clarity. Thanks for listening to me today. I wish you all the best. Talk to you soon.